Late 90s and early 2000s, DMX was by far one of my favorite rappers. DMX has had a history of problems with drugs, but he's always 100% seemed like a genuine person, and even at his lowest time, made great music. Had a great standout verse with the Locks last year, and I really was hoping to hear another album from the man. This morning, I found out that he overdosed on drugs, had a heart attack, and was in grave condition. I do hear that he's off life support and he's breathing on his own, which means that he was incubated and they were breathing for him. Now it's out and he's able to breathe on his own. But who knows, the damage is done, brain damage. And I just hope that DMX can make a full recovery. But I will say this, we have to look at the fallacy of the war on drugs. We have to stop thinking and stop villainizing people like Dr. Carl Hart and listen to the substance of what they're saying. Look, I'm not saying that anybody should do heroin or crack or any drug like that. What I am saying is that throughout the history of this country, people have done drugs. And instead of saying drugs are illegal, we need to start approaching this like other countries do, like Portugal. Like people who say, all right, what kind of drug is this and how pure is it? What most likely happens to most people who overdose is that they put a bunch of drugs in their system and they don't know what they're getting because you could try to take you could take a pill and it could be fentanyl and it says it's codeine. If you buy it on a black market, you don't know where it's coming from. You could do some heroin and it can be cut with fentanyl. You could do ecstasy and it could be 95% methamphetamine. That's what ecstasy really is. It's really close to methamphetamine. Uh, I know people who have overdosed who've taken Adderall, and Adderall's been cut with pure speed and or a higher dosage and that they brought on the street. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that we got to stop being insane and stop trying to do the same thing over and over again. Yes, teach your family the value of not doing drugs. That is something that should be done in a house. But also, let's stop making everything illegal and just making it such a criminal offense and start treating people for their addictions. And what I mean by treating people for their addictions, I mean this very simply and very easily. First of all, people need to know what they're putting in their bodies. It's stupid. It's like abstinence saying don't do it because when we said don't do it and be abstinent, people still got pregnant. Well, we've been saying just say no and people are still doing drugs. Just say no has been around my entire life since the early 80s. And guess what? People are still doing drugs. So just say no and anti-drug enforcement is not going to be enough. So let's give people some real knowledge about drugs. Let's be make it understanding and take the stigma away from doing drugs and making you not just a low life bastard on the side of the street, but maybe understand that a lot of people have some drug addictions that you respect, including JFK. He was on it heavy, on pain medications heavy. His back was broken and he was hurt many times. You think he didn't take pain meds his whole life? Of course he did. And people say, well, don't compare JFK to these bastards you see on the street. And that's the problem. Getting tiers of drug users saying this is better than this and this is better than this. We don't get upset at the guy who has a scotch every night, but we get upset at the guy who takes heroin every night. We need to stop taking this. We need to take this stigma totally away and start helping people. Uh, and let's just say this finally. Let's tell the truth about drugs. Let's tell the truth about where they come from. Let's be real. Heroin isn't grown in the United States. How the fuck is it getting here? It's getting here because somebody who's rich is getting richer by bringing it in. And it's not these street motherfuckers who you see pushing it. It's someone who's supplying them, who's supplying them, who's supplying them. But I want to know this. In a country where we won't let a fucking immigrant in and we're all worried about immigration, how can these illegal drugs keep getting in? Well, obviously somebody's greasing somebody's palm at the high level and it's coming in. And it's just funny how it's not really a big problem when it's in lower class neighborhoods. But now that these fentanyl overdoses are all over the suburbs, it's a big problem. Now we have an opioid crisis. We didn't have a heroin crisis in the 60s, did we? Nobody was worried about it. And the crack crisis, where we thought about not giving them help, we thought about locking them black people up. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's stop the racial stigmatization. Let's stop the stigmatization of drug use in general and drug abuse in general. And let's let people know what they're putting in their bodies. B, help them if they want to get off of it. And C, stop treating everybody who takes drugs like criminals. I'm telling you, that's the only way to stop it. Now, I know a lot of you brainiac assholes are going to say that doesn't work anywhere. Look at Portugal, look at Spain, look at Italy, look at Amsterdam. They've all done it. And by doing it, I mean that they've reduced a lot of their issues. And now people who've never been there and don't know nothing about it is going to say, oh, Amsterdam, there's people shooting heroin in the streets. It's not true, and it's never been true. So shut the fuck up and learn something and stop lying to people, because too many people are dying over bullshit now. DMX, I hope you get better. I would love to hear another DMX album. I hope you make it, man. But this is really just getting too much, and it's too tragic. Take care of yourselves. Can you handle the tip? Like and subscribe on YouTube. Chime in if you believe it. Chime in if you want to talk about this or not, okay? It's a very important subject.